Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. I'm doing a series where I'm doing video tutorials of the patterns from my book, Fantastic Fantasy Drawstring Bags. It's available on Amazon, and I have a modified version of it on Etsy. I have links to both of those in my description, so if you like to have written patterns, this is available. The one on Etsy is just in digital form, but the one on Amazon, you can buy a hardback, a paperback, which is what this one is, or the Kindle version. And today we are going to be making the French fry drawstring bag. So you see you can open it up and put little treasures in there, and this can close up to keep those treasures safe. I love these little bags. I think they're great for little treasures. I know kids love them, adults love them, gamers like them because they can put their dice in there. I'm going to turn this around and we can start the tutorial, but I wanted to let you know that as of the making of this video, I don't have a video for all of the items in there yet. I'm still working through it. But I do have a playlist called Fantastic Fantasy Drawstring Bags, and you can see which ones are available if you go to that playlist, and I'll link the playlist down below. Okay, I'm going to read the directions directly from the book. That way, if you have the pattern, you can see what I mean by whatever I write. Let's start with what we'll need. Medium weight yarn, about a half a skein for container color, and then for the French fry color, about a quarter skein. You're not going to need a whole lot of yarn to make this. It doesn't take very much at all. I'm just going to continue on by using red, and I'm not in no way going to finish this, but I just went and pulled from my scrap yarn for this. And then same thing with the French fries. I'm going to use this, but I highly doubt that it's going to put a huge dent into this. And then we'll need a paracord and toggle fastener. So here is what a toggle fastener looks like. They come either with one bigger hole in the center or they're two separate holes, and either one is fine. This was a better price on Amazon the day that I ordered these, and I ordered them in bulk. So that's why I have the one with one in the center, but it really doesn't matter. I think either one works well. And then paracord is parachute cord. I get mine on Amazon. You can also get that in bulk there, but I've seen them at Lowe's and I've seen them at crafting stores. So paracord is sometimes, that's short for parachute cord. And the reason why I do this instead of a string of yarn or instead of an I-cord of yarn is because I have made these bags for my sons ever since they were little. Right now they're teenagers. And with all of the opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, the yarn ones, even as an I-cord, were fraying and breaking like crazy. I was continuously making new cords for them. I replaced all of them finally with paracord, and I have never had to change it again ever since then. So if you're only lightly using it, maybe, and you don't feel like getting paracord, maybe an I-cord or, just a strand of yarn or a chain of yarn, maybe all of that is fine for you. But I recommend, if it's going to have heavy use, to go with the paracord. We're also going to need an H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. It's okay to do it in a different size. If you use a larger hook, then the bag will just end up a little bit bigger. If you use a smaller hook, it might end up smaller. You can also use any type of yarn that you want, and I would just recommend doing the size hook that goes along with it. And it's fine because you can make a smaller version of these, or you can make a larger version of these depending on the hook and the yarn that you use. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use an H, which is a 5mm. Also, the other things like scissors and then a darning needle to weave in your ends, that kind of thing. So we're going to start with the container. It says to use the container color. So mine is red. Starting with the bottom of the container. So here's the bottom. So chain 13. Let's just do that first. By the way, I am assuming for this, I should have said this earlier, I'm assuming that you know how to chain, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet for this. If you're not able to independently do those, you might want to practice your skills a little bit before moving on to this tutorial. But if you can independently do those things, chain, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet, then you're perfectly fine for this tutorial. So I wasn't really counting because I was talking to you, so let's see where I'm at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then it says half double crochet in the second chain from the hook and each chain across. Turn. Okay. Half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. There's the first. Here's the second. And then each chain across. I'm sorry that I don't have pretty fingernails. I know I've seen in a lot of tutorials people wear pretty fingernails. Right now, my husband and I are doing a lot of renovating in our house, and it's just not practical for me to have those pretty fingernails because they'll just get ruined. So I'm sorry that you have to look at my unbeautified fingernails. If you see stains and stuff on them, it's because we've been painting and sawing and doing all kinds of fun stuff. Okay. And then it just says to turn, and we should have 12 half double crochets. So there's how that looks. Rows 2 through 5. I'm going to do this off camera, and you pause here and do that as well. So row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 5, which is 4 more rows. You're just going to chain 1, put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, turn, chain 1, and then repeat until you have 4 more rows. We'll have 5 rows total. Here's what it looks like when it's done. I already turned it, by the way. I think it was just a natural thing to go to the end of the row and then turn. But let's go through step by step what the next thing to do is. So for round 6, we're going to start working in rounds. That's why it changed from row to round. You're going to chain 1 and then put 1 half double crochet in the back loop of the previous row, and then put 2 half double crochets in the last stitch. I probably didn't have to say previous row, but maybe that was just to make it a little bit clearer. So normally when we crochet, we would go into here, but back loop only is when you go in between the stitches on top, and you only crochet into the back loop of that stitch. So we're going to end up here doing 1 in each. I'll do it with you. I'll do this whole round with you because I want to make sure it's clear. Sorry, I had to pause it for a minute. My boys suddenly decided they wanted to be loud. I told them, I'm recording. Please don't be so loud. Close your doors. It said 2 half double crochets in the last stitch, so we're getting close to the last stitch. There's 1 more. So this should end up with 13 total so far because we're adding the 1 extra stitch on the corner here. Okay, so let's read through. That doesn't want to go through. There we go. 1 half double crochet around the side. So that means we're going to put 4 half double crochets in here, and then in this corner stitch we'll put 2. So that will be 6 stitches total. Just next, you know, not counting the stitches we just did. So we're going to go around the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 2 stitches here. So next we're going to do 1/2 double crochet in the back loop of each chain in the original chain row. So this is the first row that we did. So this is going to be the chain loop here. So there should be 12 is what they're saying. So let's count that out together. 1. This ball of yarn is huge. I might just throw it on the floor here so that it's out of my way. It keeps getting hard to use. This is 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can see how it's kind of coming up now as a French fry container would do, and the bottom is flattening out, so it would be a flat bottom, and now it's coming up. So the next part of that is 2 half double crochets in the corner stitch. 1, 2, and then they're saying put 5, well, they're saying, I'm saying, because it's my pattern, 5 half double crochets along the last side attached to the first half double crochet. And that all equals 37 half double crochets if you count them all going around once we've completed this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then with a slip stitch we're going to attach to the first half double crochet. And you have 37 half double crochets going around. Okay, the next part is another one that we'll do off camera because it's just going to be the same thing repeated around for rounds 7 through 14. They have short memories. So round 7 through 14, we're going to chain 1, put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around attached to the first half double crochet. And we're not going to decrease or increase the number of stitches. It will stay 37 around. So, just go around with your stitch, attach like we just did to the first one, and then chain 1, and then go ahead and do that again until you have 14 rounds total. We're starting with 7. Let's do that off camera and then come back. Here's how it looks now up to round 14. Starting to get some length. We're actually almost there. You can see it's not, it's not high enough. It's not much of a difference here. All right, so round 15, we're going to chain 2 and put 1 double crochet in each stitch around. What this row is going to be the row that the paracord will go through. Or if you're going to use an I-cord or yarn or chain, whatever you're going to use, it will go in this round. So that's why we're doing one round of double crochets. To save time on the video, I'll just do a couple of double crochets and then we'll just pause it and finish the round and then come back. So each one is going to get a double crochet. When we get all the way around, we'll attach with a slip stitch to the first double crochet. Meet me when you get around. Here's how it looks with the double crochets. So now we're going to do 2 rounds, round 16 and round 17, with just chain 1 half double crochet in each stitch around attached to the first half double crochet. We're still at 37 stitches. We have not increased or decreased. So let's put 2 more rounds in with half double crochet, 1 more round with a half double crochet, and then you're going to cut the yarn, finish it, and weave in the ends. So let's do all of that off camera to save a little bit of time in the video, and then come back once you've added the 2 rounds of half double crochets, you cut your thread and weave in the ends. Here's how we look. The bag all finished. You can put your red away or whatever your bag color was. And then the next thing we have here is to go to the paracord. I already cut it. It says to cut 20 inches of paracord. Now I know a lot of people like to know what that is in centimeters. So where's my 20? 20 is right here. So it's about 51 centimeters. Looks like the lines are about the same. It might be a little bit bigger than 51 centimeters, but it's so close that if you went with 51 centimeters, that would be fine, 20 inches. And then the next direction says, once you cut that paracord, you weave it in and out of the double crochet row. And you can do this any way you want. I've seen people who skip stitches. I just weave it in and out of every stitch. I like my cord, you can have the cord be on the side or in the middle on one side. On this one, I liked it in the middle, and then I use this as the front. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'll pick whichever one I want to be the front, and I don't think it matters in this case. They're about the same. And then I'll go into one of the double crochets near the middle, and I'm not going to weave the whole thing in and out on camera because it would take a long time and it would be pretty boring. But I just thought I'd show you how I went through a couple stitches like that. Again, if you wanted to do it by 2s or whatever, however you want to do, just bring it all the way around and then I'll show you the toggle fastener. All right, I've got it all the way around. Now you want to try to make the ends of the cord even. And if you have a toggle fastener like mine, you're going to squeeze both ends of the cord in at the same hole. If you have one that has 2 holes in it, you'll just put one end in each of the holes. And sometimes they don't like to go through, sometimes they do. In this case, the second one doesn't want to go through. I'm going to try again. If you do it a few times and you get a little bit of fraying at the end, you could always trim the end up. Let me try again and see if I can get this in there. If this one doesn't go in, I'm going to try it off camera so that I'm not spending 15 minutes of the video just trying to get this in. It shouldn't take 15 minutes. Usually they go in easily. I think mine frayed a little bit, so I'm going to have to trim it. I'll come back once I have it on and show you the next step. All right, once I trim the ends, it went through easily. So then you would just pull that, at least flush, and so that every time you open it, it doesn't fall off. You're going to put a knot at the end of this. Like that. And you can either leave it, or there's things that you can do to prevent fraying on the ends. One is burning, which I have never done. I don't trust myself to do that, but I think you can burn the ends to prevent fraying. Another thing you can do is use glue, just white glue, and let it dry overnight or, several hours, and this will harden and prevent the ends from fraying. It might seem weird that that white glue would do that. This isn't a special glue. This is just regular school glue. But if you look at the one that I completed a long time ago, you can't see it, but look, these ends don't come apart. And all I did was use white glue and let it dry. And it is stiff here and it has not frayed. So that's my go-to, is to put the glue on the end and then you just let it dry all the way. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. We're going to make some French fries now. The amount of French fries depends on how much you want to fill the bag up. I'm going to show you exactly, this is the bag that I did, exactly how the French fries are. They look like little fingers, and then you sew them in just above the paracord. You don't want it to go any lower than the very top of the double crochet row, because otherwise it will interfere with your ability to be able to open and close this bag. And so I put enough that it filled every spot going around. If you wanted to add more, you could. If you wanted to add less, you could. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to make the French fries. This was made exactly per the directions, but there was somebody who contacted me who made this and said, I like skinnier French fries. And they ended up needing to make a lot more of them, but I'll show you how they did it. And this is how they did the French fry. And I might do a combination. And so when you sew it in, it sticks up like this. And this is just a skinnier French fry. So it's your choice. The skinnier one is a lot easier to make, but you'll have to make more of them. So I'm going to do one like the directions here. And then I might make a few of each off camera to finish my bag with. French fries, make as many as you think looks right. Round 1, chain 2, 5 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook attached to the first half double crochet. You're going to end up with 5 half double crochets. So I write it, I usually prefer the magic circle, but I write it like this because a lot of people have complained in my patterns when I say use a magic circle that they don't know how to do that, or they have never been able to figure out how to do that. So I do this so that it's more beginner friendly. This is obviously not a beginner pattern, but I make it so that it's easy for everybody. But if you were doing it that way, I still have some glue on my fingers, so forgive me. Still don't have any fancy fingernails. So if you were doing it that way, you would just chain 2 and then put 5 half double crochets into this stitch and then attach to the first one. And that would be how you do it. I'm going to do a magic circle because that actually is my preferred way to do it. If you've never done one, maybe I can show you here how to do it. It's not that difficult. You make a slip knot, but don't pull it tight. So look, I'm bringing the second yarn through, but I don't pull it tight. And then I just start my pattern. So 5 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you take the tail and you pull it tight. And then you just attach to the first one with a slip stitch. And now we're just going to do rows 2 through 6. Chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around attached to the first. And you're going to have 5 half double crochets. Finish and sew around the top edge. So you can either finish it and then you're going to thread a yarn and sew them all on, or you can leave a tail and sew each one, individually on with a tail. I think it looks like I here have a knot here and that I sewed each one on. But I think this time I'm going to try it with leaving a tail and then sewing each individual one on. So I'll just show you one more round. So this would be round 2. You're just going to put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. 3, 4, 5. And then attach with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet. I'm going to finish this French fry up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to do the skinnier French fry. So you have two options. All right, here's how my French fry turned out. And again, I'm going to show you how to do the skinny one. It's very, very simple. We want to have kind of 6 rows up like this one. So that means for this one, we're going to have to chain 7, because we will half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So I'm sorry, let me see if I can get this to focus better. I notice it's not really focusing. There we go. So we'll chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then each chain across, so you'll have 6 as the length, and then you'll just leave a little bit of a tail and pull through. All right, so I'm going to show you just a couple tips for sewing these on, and then we can just go off camera, make as many French fries as we want in either size, and then I'll come back and show you what the finished one looks like. So I'm threading, sorry, I was doing that off camera. I'm threading the needle for the thicker French fry, the one that's in the book. So the tip is you don't want to pull all the way through and then all the way back, because all the way in, because then you're going to see the yellow. So you want to be careful to do this shallow. I'm going to go through 2 of the stitches and then come in here, and I'm just going to go in these front 2 stitches, because you can see that's not going to show up in the front part of this. When you do the other French fry, you'll want to do it the same way. Okay, and then I'll come through this again. And then go down. And then come through just the beginning part of this, so that it's not going to show through on the other side. It just would look a little bit weird to have yellow strands showing through on the other side. And that's, as long as it's secured on there well enough, you're good. I'm just going to put a knot there, maybe a double knot, because I'm not happy. K-N-O-T, happy. And then cut. And there's the first one. Excuse me. And then I'm going to thread the needle. Here's the smaller one. And I'll just go right next door to this one and sew it on the same way. I'm going to go into just the front part of this, come up into the French fry, go down into the French fry. Be careful just to go into the front part of those stitches. Come back up, and then maybe I'll just kind of give it a little extra stitch there and tie my knot. And then trim it. So if you look in the front, you don't see any of the loops. That's what you want to be careful of, that you don't see any of the loops. I'm going to go ahead off camera and make more French fries, and finish this one up, and then I'll come back when it's finished to show you. All right, this is the original one that I made, and then this is the one that I just made with you with the thinner French fries. I like both. I think this one's a little bit more manageable. This one's a little bit like, I don't know, I can't describe it. But I do like it too. And actually, I think this one looks fuller of French fries than this one does. So I think they both turned out pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this project. If so, please make sure you give my video a thumbs up. And if you are willing to subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. It's free and it helps me out. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Bye.